Hello everyone, welcome back to Porchselvanvlogs. In this episode, we will explore the cultural triangle of Sri Lanka. After our visit to Kandy, we arrived last night in Dambulla city, located in the northern part of the Matali district in Sri Lanka's central province. So come on everyone, let's dive into the vlog. It took us about 2 hours to reach our homestay, Heritage Ranjiri Villa in Dambulla. From Kandy, we are grateful to the host for welcoming us late at night. We stayed there for 2 nights, and the cost for 2 people was 3,600 Lankan rupees, which included free breakfast. Our host kindly arranged a tuk-tuk for us to explore the cultural triangle of Sri Lanka at our request. We confidently planned a round trip that included visits to the impressive Sigiriya Lion Rock and the historic ancient city of Polonnaruwa. The Cultural Triangle is a region in the central part of the island known for its historical and archaeological sites, which include the ancient cities of Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, and Kandy. The key attractions within the triangle are the UNESCO World Heritage Sites of Sigiriya Rock Fortress and the Dambulla Cave Temple, showcasing Sri Lanka's rich history, Buddhist traditions, and ancient architecture. Upon arriving at Sigiriya, you will find numerous tourist guides available for hire at the counter. If you wish, you can hire one at this location. From the parking area, you will need to walk a few meters to reach the ticket counter. The entrance fee for Sigiriya in 2025 is $35 for non-SARC foreign adults and $20 for SARC foreign adults. Children under 6 years old enter for free, while the fee for SARC and non-SARC foreign children is $20. They accept both USD and local currency. We purchased our tickets using Sri Lankan rupees only. The SARC, known as South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, has member countries that include Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. These 8 countries form the Regional Intergovernmental Organization, which was founded in 1985 to promote economic and social development through regional cooperation. Hence, the SARC country citizens will get a discount on various attractions around Sri Lanka. Regarding the opening hours, the site is open from 5 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and the tickets are issued only between 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. and the frescoes area will close for tourists at 5:45 p.m. As you enter, a long path stretches straight ahead, leading all the way to the base of the rock. On either side of the path, you will find the ground-level ruins of an ancient city. Take the path to the right as soon as you enter the grounds. It will take you up a bank where you can enjoy a fantastic view of Sigiriya and the ruined gardens. As you return to the main route, the path winds through the ruins, leading you past ancient fountains that are supplied by ponds located high up on the rock. When we visited, the fountains were not flowing. However, I've heard that they do operate during periods of heavy rain. These fountains are part of the extensive and beautiful ancient water gardens. Let's see a brief history of Sigiriya. Sigiriya was constructed by King Kashyapa in the 5th century after he usurped the throne, exiled his brother, and caused the death of his father. This ambitious king understandably felt the need for a more defensible capital. In an adventurous move, he chose the top of a steep rock formation as the perfect spot for his fortress. It's amazing to see how kings throughout history often made bold choices like this. In a bold move, King Kashyapa relocated the local monks to the nearby outcrop of Galle, clearing the way for an ambitious construction project. He envisioned a magnificent palace atop a colossal rock, complemented by lush water gardens, grand meeting halls, majestic temples, and a sprawling moat that would fortify his reign. However, this dream was short-lived. Just as his rule began to take shape, a fierce turn of fate awaited him. His brother returned from exile, rallying a formidable army. As Kashyapa's own forces abandoned him, he faced a dire choice. Rather than be captured by the very brother he had tried to assassinate, he chose to end his own life, a tragic conclusion to a reign that once promised so much. So here we started climbing the Lion Rock. Sharing the climb with troops of monkeys and the occasional street dog, we ascended the first set of stone stairs. At the top of this first staircase, the path opens up and levels out into the first plateau, and our first chance to stop and enjoy the view. As we reached the next plateau, we were welcomed by one of the most iconic sights in Sigiriya, and perhaps in all of Sri Lanka. On either side of a grand stone staircase, the gigantic lion's paws with extended claws stand proudly. These impressive paws are all that remain of the carved stone lion that once guarded the final staircase leading to the ancient palace above. It is from these paws that Sigiriya earned the name Lion Rock. The lion's body and head have long since vanished, swallowed by the jungle. These massive paws now signify the transition between the ancient stone staircase and the modern metal path up the mountain. The last stretch to the top, especially in the intense heat of over 30 degrees and under the blazing sun, was quite challenging, despite the incredible view that awaited us. By the time we reached the summit, we had climbed a total of 1,200 steps and were tired and dehydrated. However, the stunning view from the top made it all worth it. Sigiriya is the tallest peak around and provides an amazing 360-degree view of the beautiful Sri Lankan jungle beneath. From up here, you can spot jagged blue mountain peaks stretching along the horizon, while sparkling lakes and rivers meander through the lush greenery of central Sri Lanka. It's truly a breathtaking sight up here. There are many structures, platforms, pools and ponds at the top of the rock, and we spend a good amount of time wandering about, taking selfies, and generally being awestruck by the staggering sights surrounding us. The ruins of the ancient city are amazing, set over varying levels with steep staircases, connecting different floors with each other. On one end of the palatial rock sits a large carved pool. This pool, which feeds the fountains below, was only half full, but was still improbably large for something sitting at the top of an enormous boulder. The time to climb Sigiriya rock varies depending on your fitness level and crowds, but the ascent typically took 50 minutes for me. The total trip, including exploring the gardens, seeing the frescoes, the final ascent, and the descent, can take 2 to 3 hours or more. It is recommended to allow a minimum of 3 hours to explore properly without feeling rushed. The best time to visit Sigiriya Rock is during the dry season from late December till April for the best weather, with March being particularly ideal for clear views. For fewer crowds, visit on a weekday and in the early morning or late afternoon to avoid the midday heat and tour groups. As you descend, you come to a fork in the path located between the Lion's Paws and the first plateau. One route leads you back down to the gardens the same way you came up, while the other route turns left, clinging precariously to the rocky face. The mirror wall is far from an ordinary mirror. Originally encased in plaster, it has been polished to a brilliant shine, which is how it earned its distinctive name. On the rock face side of the wall lies a pathway that reveals the intriguing secret of the mirror wall. This side, facing the rock, is adorned with centuries of graffiti marks left by countless visitors throughout history who wanted to share their thoughts about Sigiriya. As you continue along the path, it leads you up a spiral staircase to the renowned murals, adding to the wall's rich narrative. As you descend the rock, follow the exit sign. Along the way, you'll discover a variety of interesting sights, including the Cobra Head Cave, an ancient urinal, and a reception hall carved into the top of a particularly large boulder. The path will eventually lead you out to the parking lot, where you'll find the usual selection of tourist shops. Sigiriya is famous for a reason and should not be missed. If you've traveled all the way to the Indian Ocean and made your way to the center of this incredible island, it would be a shame to skip this attraction. While the ticket price may be high, I believe that visiting Sigiriya is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. After visiting the Sigiriya, it's time to visit the next place of the cultural triangle in Sri Lanka. On our way we saw the water monitor, a large lizard native to South and Southeast Asia. Water monitors are one of the most common monitor lizards found throughout Asia, and range from Sri Lanka and India to Indochina, the Malay Peninsula, and various islands of Indonesia, living in areas close to water. The route from Sigiriya to Polonnaruwa is not entirely forest, but involves driving through a landscape with significant areas of jungle and countryside, including areas protected from elephants by electric fences. While the road is a direct route, the area is known for its dense vegetation and wildlife, so it's more of a mixed landscape rather than continuous forest. We had a buffet lunch on our way. It's quite expensive on this route. It's better to eat in Polonnaruwa town if you're looking for a budget option. The archaeological museum complex in Polonnaruwa is the perfect starting point for your visit to the ancient city. Here, you can get a glimpse of how the city would have looked in its prime and purchase tickets for the site itself. One of the most intriguing and mysterious places that I had the pleasure of visiting in Sri Lanka was Polonnaruwa, an important ancient city in Sri Lankan history. The entrance fee for adults is $30, which will be around 9,000 Lankan rupees, and for children it will be $15, that will around 45,000 Lankan rupees. Polonnaruwa, unlike other UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Sri Lanka like Sigiriya, does not offer a SARC discount on its entrance fee for foreigners. This is because the SARC discount is not applied to all heritage sites, and its specific implementation varies by location and policy. The entrance fee structure is a policy decision made by the authorities managing the site, and not all ancient cities and archaeological sites are treated the same. Visiting the archaeological site is essential. It is both beautiful and well maintained. However, I found it to be quite expensive, and I expected at least an audio guide. Unfortunately, the app intended to provide this information was not working, and the site itself lacks detailed descriptions. Most of the information is only available inside the museum. I recommend visiting the site first and then going to the museum, as this will help you better understand what you have seen throughout the day. The Polonnaruwa ancient city generally operates daily from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., though some sources suggest closing times up to 5:30 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. It's best to arrive by mid-morning to allow ample time for exploration, with visitors needing at least 3 to 5 hours to see the main highlights like the Galle Vihara and Royal Palace. The city of Polonnaruwa was established by the Chola dynasty as their new capital in the 10th century. The Chola dynasty was a Tamil empire of southern India and one of the world's longest ruling dynasties, who undertook destruction of the Buddhist civilization in northern Sri Lanka. Chola rule ended in 1070, after which Polonnaruwa was captured by King Vijayabahu I. The citadel area of the site contains the remnants of the royal residences that once belonged to the Sinhalese kings and queens. In Polonnaruwa, you can find the remains of Parakramabahu's palace. Although the palace is mostly in ruins today, I appreciate that many of the intricate carvings still remain in the brick and stonework. The first group of ruins you meet after entering the ground of the ancient city is the Royal Palace Group. This group of buildings dates from the period of King Parakrama Bahu I from 1153 to 1186. The King's Royal Palace is a massive structure, measuring 31 meters by 13 meters, once including 50 rooms supported by 30 columns. Even today it is quite an impressive building. Today, only some of the walls remain, featuring holes designed to support floor beams for to upper levels. Archaeologists speculate that if the building had 4 additional levels above these stone walls, they were likely constructed of wood. It's impressive to think that such a large palace was built in those days without the aid of machines. The King's Council Chamber is one of the best preserved structures in the Royal Palace Group, featuring beautifully carved stone elephants on the walls. Each elephant is uniquely positioned and distinct from the others. The stairs leading to the council chamber are quite impressive, adorned with magnificent lion sculptures at the top on each side. During the reign of Vijaya Bahu's grandson, Parakrama Bahu the Great, from 1153 to 1186, trade and agriculture thrived. Significant irrigation systems were constructed that continue to support the nearby paddy fields, making the kingdom self-sufficient. The council chamber, known as the Raja Sabhawa in Sinhala, is situated in front of the royal palace. It was built for Parakrama Bahu as a meeting place for his ministers. The best way to explore the ancient city of Polonnaruwa is by bicycle or tuk-tuk. This allows you to enjoy the fresh air, cover a lot of the site, and take your time on the tour. While walking is also an option, you may find the distance quite extensive, making it difficult to fully explore everything in just one day. Additionally, it can be very hot, which may make walking exhausting since the area has little shade. Tuk-tuk or personal vehicles can be driven around the site as well. There is a main road that runs throughout the area, and ample parking is available at the key points of interest. This area is named the Sacred Quadrangle Dalata-Maluva, an exceptional area containing several ruins, including shrines, statues, and temples. The notable ones include the Vatadij, Hedadij, Thupramaya, and Sathmahal Prasadaya. The Vatadij was originally constructed to house the sacred tooth of Buddha, which is now kept in Kandy. Short staircases lead up to a raised inner level, where for Buddha statues are positioned at the cardinal points. Although a wooden roof once covered the circular structure, it no longer exists. As this is a religious site, visitors are required to remove their shoes before ascending the stairs to view the Buddha statues. The Hathadij structure was purpose-built to house the tooth of Buddha, taking over the role from the Vadadij, which lies opposite. Originally, it was a two-story building, but now only the first level remains, featuring a shrine dedicated to the Buddha. The Polonnaruwa Velikara inscription is a significant 12th century Tamil inscription in Sri Lanka, located at the sacred quadrangle in Polonnaruwa, documenting the oath of the Weligama mercenary community to protect the sacred tooth relic of the Buddha after a revolt against King Vijaya Bahu I. Written in Tamil with a Sanskrit introduction, it records the terms of a truce following the Velikara revolt of 1080 for CE and is a crucial testament to the history of the mercenary army and their role in Sri Lankan affairs. The Nisanka Latha Mandapa is a distinctive structure located in the ancient city of Polonnaruwa. A mandapa is an open-sided pillared structure that provides shelter from the sun with its roof. As of the 20th century, mandapas are typically built as temporary structures either inside a house or within a building. They serve as platforms for recitation during remembrance ceremonies for the deceased. The Thuparama image house at the ancient capital of Polonnaruwa is one of the few buildings where you can see a roof completely made out of bricks. These types of buildings are called Jedij vaulted roof type, and almost the whole building including the roof has survived over 900 years miraculously. According to Paranavithana, this is the best preserved example of a Gediji structures in the country. No visit to Polonnaruwa is complete without a stop at the Rankat Vihara, the largest Dagaba in Polonnaruwa and the fourth largest in Sri Lanka. Built during the reign of King Nisanka Malla, this remarkable structure is one of the top attractions in the area. The monastery, made entirely of brick, is exceptionally well preserved and remains in excellent condition compared to other structures nearby. Alahana Puravina is a great monastic complex founded by Parakrama Bahu I from 1153 to 1186, said to be built on a cremation ground, hence the name Alahana Puravina. The monastery, laid out in terraces and idyllic surroundings with small and large rocky outcrops like the Gopala Pabada, meandering stream, ponds, and parks, it is believed to have covered an area of more than 80 hectares. The Lanka Tilaka Temple in Polonnaruwa is a massive, brick Jedij stone temple from the 12th century, built by King Parakrama Bahu I, known for its towering 17 meters walls and a monumental, headless standing Buddha statue that fills the shrine. As a significant image house, it features unique architecture, elaborate carvings, ancient murals, and a special balustrade with a Nagini figure, making it a striking historical and cultural landmark within the ancient city of Polonnaruwa. Kiri Vihara is a Dagaba that holds in the relics of a sacred person, and it is believed that the Kiri Vihara was dedicated to Subhadra, the queen of King Parakrama Bahu 1153 to 1186. Like other Dagabas, Kiri Vihara is a dome structure, which would have been a stark white color. In fact, its current name means milk white shrine. As we moved to the next Viharaya, it began to rain. The climate here is changing constantly, shifting from a hot sunny morning to a cool breeze of rain. The best time to visit Polonnaruwa is during the dry season, from January to September, with the peak dry and most popular months being June to August, and again January for pleasant, warm, and sunny weather ideal for exploring. To avoid extreme heat and crowds, aim for early morning or late afternoon and consider visiting in January, July, or August for the most comfortable conditions, though these are also peak tourist months. Prepare to be amazed when you discover the Buddha figures of Galle Vihara, one of the most famous rock-cut Buddha statues in Sri Lanka. Also known as the Rock Monastery, this partially man-made cavern features 3 enormous rock-cut images and 1 smaller statue, each captivating in its own way. The Galle Vihara sculptures, each different in design, are undoubtedly the most perfect specimen of Buddha statues hewn out of solid granite in Sri Lanka. All 4 images are hollowed out of the abrupt eastern slope of a single massive boulder, which is about 27 meters in length and 10 meters in height. Visiting Sigiriya and Polonnaruwa is overwhelmingly praised as a highlight of Sri Lanka, offering breathtaking views from the Sigiriya rock fortress and fascinating ancient history at the Polonnaruwa ruins. Best experienced by visiting places early to avoid crowds and heat, though visitors note the steep cost of both places in Trun's fee. While Sigiriya is a magnificent architectural and historical site, and Polonnaruwa offers a sprawling, smaller-scale exploration of a former kingdom's ruins, making for a rewarding cultural immersion. It takes around 2 hours to travel from Sigiriya to Polonnaruwa. The journey from Polonnaruwa to Dambulla by Tuk-Tuk takes approximately 2.5 to 3 hours. If you are using public transport, be sure to plan accordingly, as bus frequencies are limited in Sri Lanka after sunset. We've come to the end of this episode, everyone. Later in the evening, we return to our homestay and relaxed after a full day of touring. We'll see you all soon in our next episode. Until then, this is Porchselvan signing off.